So you've just started your recruitment agency, you've got the website, you've got the LinkedIn profile, maybe you even have a few leads, but that first placement, you can't get it done. And now look, I get it. I've been there. I remember when I started my agency, I was staring at an empty bank account thinking, have I made a mistake starting this business? And then it happened. I made my first placement, I got £13,000 in my pocket. Just like that, it changed everything. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact step-by-step process on how you can make your first recruitment agency placement. So we're going to be talking how to find your first crucial clients, even if you've got zero connections, how to source the perfect candidates, how you can close deals and get paid. So stick around to the end of this video and you're going to know exactly how you can make your first recruitment agency placement. Instead of just spinning your wheels, making no money with your agency, you can actually start getting some traction and grow your business. Now, with that said, let's get straight into it. You've got two options when it comes to starting your agency. You can either do what 95% of new recruiters do, and that is they'll get a list of companies, they'll begin cold calling those companies, and you're going to start asking for meetings, for vacancies. Just give me some of your time and attention, when you could be doing something which is so much easier and actually produces way better results. And to do this, you're going to be using a method called MPC, your most placeable candidate. What your most placeable candidate means is, as a recruiter, with the candidates that you are working with, which one of them is the most placeable? The way to figure that out is, one, you can either know your market inside out. I've been doing construction recruitment now for nearly a decade, and I know that if I get a really good surveyor, or a really good estimator, or a senior commercial member of the staff, and I go and introduce that person to multiple clients from similar type businesses, they're going to be interested in that candidate. So MPC, your most placeable candidate, is just going out and using a specific candidate to generate business. You're not even that bothered whether you place this candidate or not. The most important thing is that you are able to generate business off the back of this candidate, because people might not be hiring right now. They might not need this particular candidate. But if you go to them and actually give some form of value of actually demonstrating, look, I can get these types of candidates for you. Would you like me to recruit for you in the future? Or do you have any similar type roles to this candidate? I can recruit them for you. So let's have a meeting. Let's discuss. Let me learn about your business. Let me find out what you're turning over. Let me find out how many people you're hiring. Let me find out all this information that I need so I can get you the best possible candidates moving forward. That is a much easier ask than just calling companies up and providing no value and expecting them to give you a meeting and to give you some of their time and attention, because this is what they get every single week, dozens of times. New recruiters are calling them up, going, give me some time and attention, and they just get palmed off, and then you end up doing hundreds and hundreds of cold calls, you land no clients and you make no money, and you think about giving up, when in reality you could have just done the MPC method straight away, started providing value, and in that same time period actually landed some clients. Now, like I said, for this to be successful, you need to actually understand what your clients are looking for. Every single sector and niche within recruitment has desirable candidates they want to see. They're getting applications from junior engineers and junior staff all the time. The people on 25, 30 grand and they just left university. Those people who are applying for jobs non-stop. The people that aren't are earning 70, 80, 90, 100 grand plus. Those people don't apply for jobs on Indeed. What happens with them is a recruiter goes to them, they start pitching them a job at a company, and then they go out and get them a job either at that company or another one. They actually have a professional doing it for them. And companies understand this. They understand that these types of people are going to be applying for jobs. And that's why they pay recruiters so much money to do it for them. Now, my process when it comes to MPC candidates out is really straightforward. I will start sending messages out on LinkedIn, and I'll just start with something very generic, like, hey, I've got a few roles I'd like to discuss with you. Do you have some time later? Something along those lines. All I'm trying to do is get them on the phone, get a conversation going. Once I have that conversation, I'm going to try and find out from the candidates, what are you looking for in your next role? What money you want right now? What do you need for me to find for you to actually make the move and put your notice in your company, upend your life, and move? Because from the candidate's point of view, this is one of the most important things they'll ever do in their life. Moving job is just as stressful as moving home, okay? You are completely changing your surroundings. You're completely changing the people you work with, potentially the projects you work on. So you don't underestimate how important a job move is, not only for the client, but for the candidate. So it's important that you understand your market, your sector, what your clients and candidates are looking for. Now, not every single candidate that you speak to is going to be good enough for you to spec out. They might be okay, but they're going to be sounding some warning bells. Maybe they're not looking for the right sort of reasons. Maybe they're purely just driven by money, and that's not going to really appeal to clients. What you're looking for in an MPC candidate is somebody who's potentially undervalued by the market. Maybe they should be on 60 grand and they're actually on 45. So you've got a big sort of gap to make up. That 15k difference is your opportunity to sell into a client. You can talk all about their experience. They've got this, they've got that. With their 20 grand too much, they're not going to take them on. They're going to wait for somebody to come along who's got that guy's 15 grand undervalued. So they can go and give them a massive uplift of 10, 15k, and they've got a superstar candidate. They just think, wow, I've given them so much money more. They're going to be really happy. Now, when it comes to speccing candidates out, the process is very simple. So at this point, you probably figured out, yes, they're a good enough candidate for me to begin working with. They're hitting all the right sort of boxes. They're moving for the right sort of reason. I want to spec this candidate out. All I'm going to do for this process is build a list of 50 similar companies that I think would be interested in this candidate. And what I mean by that is if I'm working with a civil engineering firm and they're based in London, then all I'm going to do is find every other civil engineering company in London and go and tell them about this candidate. It's really not difficult. I don't have to be the best judge in the world of how good somebody is at their particular job. All I need to know is, are you doing this job successfully for a client at the moment? Yes. And if that's the case, then well, you could probably go and do that job for a similar type business. It doesn't matter whether they don't get the job or not. All that matters is that they're a decent enough candidate for me to put forward and get a conversation going with the client. So I'm going to show you the exact template that I use now to book candidates interviews, just the initial specking out email. So all I put as the subject line is commercial candidate looking for a new home. Hi, currently representing multiple commercial candidates. If you are interested and want to see the CV or get more information, contact me, and then my details. There's no fluff. There's no, hey, how's your Sunday? How's your Monday? Hope the weather's good by you. None of that. I'm not interested, and neither is your client. I'll go straight into the title of who they are, what they do. Senior QS, their location, Gloucester, the money they're on, 90k, and the industry. And then I'm just going to give a little bit of context to what type of company they're working for and who they are. So 20 years experience in groundworks and civil engineering, currently running an office for a very large residential groundworker, 70 million turnover. And it's exactly the same for all three candidates. I'm outlining exactly who they are because I just want to create a picture, an avatar of who this person is. I haven't sent the CV. All I've sent is the terms of business, okay? It's really important. I'm not sending the CV because I don't want them to go direct and just LinkedIn search this person's name. I don't want them to contact them. I'm the only person that they could contact, and all they know is just an avatar. For them to then go, yes, I'd like to see the CV. And then that gives me the permission to call them up and actually have a conversation about it because they've given me permission to do so. Okay, so repeating the same thing with all three candidates: senior estimator, their location, their salary, their industry. Next one, title commercial manager, location Nottingham, 110k package, their industry again. And that's all I'm doing then, 2 or 3 sentences, breaking down a little bit about who they are. And the goal is I just want an email to say exactly this back. Okay, hello Ryan, I'd be interested in seeing the CVs of the estimators and commercial manager. Simple as that. The conversation is now started. Now from this point on, I haven't got terms signed with this client, so I'm not going to send over the CV with their full contact details on. I need to get terms of business signed first. So what I would do for that is let them see the CV, obviously with the name, their current company redacted. Once they see that and they say, yes, I'd like to interview this person, great. Before we can arrange an interview, we need to get some terms of business signed. Do you agree to these terms? These are what I work on. If all goes well, yes, they're absolutely fine, and you can carry on from there. Happy days. So now you have the terms of business signed. Now you just arrange the interview. You've got to arrange the interview with both parties. It's really important once you arrange the interviews that not only do you send the confirmation confirming the times over email and over call, before they go to the interview, you need to make sure that you jog the memory of both parties on who they are meeting, okay? So an hour, a couple of hours before, you want to call both parties and let them know who they're seeing. So I'm going to call the candidate up and go, okay, you're going to be meeting so-and-so from this company. This company is currently turning over this. This is where they see you fitting in. This is the projects they're working on right now. This is the position you're coming to work on. And exactly the same with the client. This is who you're going to be seeing. This is what the candidate does. This is what they're looking for. This is the money you're on. If you're going to offer them, this is what they're going to be looking to receive from you. You just need to make sure both parties are aware of who they are seeing. And just this one little act alone will increase the likelihood that your candidate receives an offer from the client because they're going to be fully aware of what they are meant to be sort of saying and what they're expecting, okay? They're not going in blind thinking, I don't know what this person's actually looking for. They know what the client actually wants. Once the interview's taken place, I like to call the candidate first, and I want to speak to the candidate and I want to find out a few things. One, obviously, how long was the interview? What was your thoughts on the company? Did you like the person you met? And then I want to start digging into, okay, what questions did they ask you? Did they ask you technical stuff, or was it more personal stuff? Did you discuss money? And if they discuss money, that's always a really good sign that the client is actually pretty interested in them and maybe is even going to make an offer. I don't know why. It just always has been a good sign for me. If a candidate says, yes, we did discuss money, they asked what I was on and what I'd be looking for me, I'm always going, tick in my head. I think that's a pretty good sign. Hopefully the feedback from both parties is pretty good. Now you're going to have to start handling the negotiations. So let's say this client now makes an offer and the offer's at the level that the candidate originally wanted. It's your responsibility to try and keep both parties responsible to each other. So don't let the candidate get carried away in terms of, oh, I think I could get more money here. I think I could get this extra car. I think I could get this, this and this. Because candidates will think that they can do that. They always get carried away thinking, I can actually go and get more from them. And they get caught up in the idea of negotiating. People have an ideal scenario in their head how this all going to work. But from the client's point of view, they've been expecting somebody who's expecting this amount of money. They don't want to get into a back and forth negotiating over salaries. They might change it once, but 2 or 3 times they're going to think this person's really difficult. They're playing us off against each other. Clients really don't like that. And on the flip side of that, you don't want those clients to lowball your candidate. You don't want them to say, they're looking for 60k and they offer 52, because that's just going to insult the candidate and probably force the candidate just to pull out of it. Even if they really like the company, they're going to feel insulted. So you need to be that barrier between each other when it comes to negotiating. You just have to be the level-headed party when it comes to negotiation. Make sure nobody's getting lowballed, make sure nobody's getting carried away, and make sure both parties are crystal clear on the terms of the contract. So when they put the notice in, they start, there's no nasty surprises. And that brings me to on how you actually get paid. Now, when I said you signed terms of business, in that terms of business, it should clearly state exactly how much you will get paid. Now, typical fees in recruitment are around 15 to 25%. In the UK, it's about 15 to 20%. And in America, it's usually 20 to 25, sometimes 30% of the total starting salary. So if I place somebody on £100,000 a year and I charge 15% as my fee, then I would get paid by the client £15,000. I would send that invoice on the first day that person started. So I would call the candidate up and go, have you started? Yes, brilliant. Call the client. Has he started? Yes, he has. Brilliant. And then I would immediately send the invoice with my terms of business attached to say, whatever your payment terms are, this invoice must be paid within 14, 30 days, whatever you agreed in your terms of business. It is crucial you send it on the first day. Don't delay 5, 6, 7 days, because rebates are a thing in recruitment. If a candidate ends up leaving a day in, or 4 weeks in, or 8 weeks in, depending on your terms of business, you are going to have to give some of that money back. Now, how mine typically looks like is week 1 to 4, it's about 50% I'll give them back. Week 4 to 8 is about 25%, and then after that, I only give a small amount back. And what I actually do is offer a free replacement, and I offer them a free replacement because I don't want to give the money back. The money's in my bank account, and they still need a candidate to do this role. So most clients will prefer just go and get us another candidate, okay? Just go and get somebody else for the role, you keep the money, we carry on the relationship. These things happen, okay? So just hit them head on, don't duck from them. The client will appreciate it a lot more and it'll work out better for you in the long run, especially when it comes to getting repeat business, because if they see that you've handled it professionally, you haven't tried to run off with the money, you've actually been up front, it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want some money back or do you want me to just fill the vacancy? They will take filling the vacancy. I promise you, it's happened to me many a times and it'll happen many times more, but I've never had to give rebates back because the client just wants the role filled. So there you have it. I've broken down why you should use the MPC method to sign your first clients. It's way easier than cold calling and cold email clients when you've got absolutely nothing of value to offer. If you call companies up and you spec in a candidate that they are actually looking for, or a candidate that they don't receive quite a lot from recruiters, they're more than likely to have a conversation with you, start giving you repeat businesses, start giving you vacancies, give you meetings, and before you know, just using this method, you'll be able to sign multiple clients that will get you up to that consistent billing of £10,000 per month. Now, if you would like more help with this, you don't want, YouTube videos are great, can I go and implement it myself? Well, I'm sure you know that knowledge is only half the thing. What most people are actually looking for nowadays is somebody to keep them accountable, and that's where I come in. If you'd like me to keep you accountable and actually have somebody watching over you, advising you what to do, who's having meetings with you on a Monday, on a Friday saying, do this, do that, what's going on in your business, what's going wrong, how can I help you, where should you be speccing this candidate out? If you would like that, and then you'd also like 50 plus videos from me talking about loads of different topics on recruitment. If you would like the ability to share and collaborate with other recruiters on, I've got this vacancy, can you fill it? Or I need some business right now, I need some candidates. You have a community of recruiters that you can work with. I have a 90-day mentorship program, and now this program is designed for you to make your very first placement. It's designed that if you're a recruiter already, that you can keep on making more and more placements, but faster, quicker, bigger deal sizes. If that sounds like something to you, click the button below in the description, book a call, we'll have a chat to see whether it's for you or not, and hopefully we can get you making more money from your recruitment business. See you in the next video.